Welcome to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. We are here in a fifth sleeper room, but it's not just any fifth sleeper room. It is the newest addition to any of the hotel rooms at Walt Disney World. It is the fifth sleeper room that has been remodeled to feature Disney's The Little Mermaid. Not the live action movie, but the movie from the 80s, the animated classic. They've decided to update what were the Pirates of the Caribbean themed rooms, which were a popular, interesting, and different choice for guests. They decided they did not need those anymore, and in the remodel, converted a majority of these into these new fifth sleepers with a theme that is not already present at the resort. Of course, Little Mermaid's been tied to this hotel as far back as I can remember. I know Sebastian was always on logos and stuff for a long time, but in my lifetime, the last major remodel of rooms I remember, they added Finding Nemo characters. Oddly enough, but nonetheless, here we are. So what's interesting about these, there are not a ton of these because these are only rooms they've converted that were the Pirates rooms. So that's what they've converted. The other fifth sleepers in the buildings that did not contain the Pirate rooms are going to be the style they've been for several years now. They're going to still be that style. It's just these. So these are going to be few and far between, but maybe the eventual plan is to refresh all of them and they'll all eventually look like this. But either way, let's take a look. It's a pretty big change, I think, for Caribbean Beach. It feels, the room layout is what it was, but it feels very, very different. These air conditioning units have survived. These are, I believe, original. They put a new casing on them. They had sort of more of a wood grain look before. Now they've got this, they kind of just look metal now. They got a glossy finish to them in this, I'd say it's a countertop they put on top of the unit there. We got new curtains, which are not Little Mermaid themed. They're just like Caribbean Beach themed, which I don't have a problem with. There's a starfish, there's a bubble, hidden Mickey, and yeah, they're nice. No problem with them. They're thematic. They fit the resort. They look good. We've got this, one of the biggest mirrors in any Disney resort hotel room, I think. Yes, I am wearing a Sebastian shirt. I'm in theme today. Right over here, and a lot of open floor space down here, which is probably good if you're putting 5 people in this room. You probably want some, right? The other interesting thing about Caribbean Beach is this. You got to remember, this was the first non-deluxe hotel built, right? So the only things that existed before Caribbean Beach were Fort and Poly and Contemporary. And at the same time they built this, they built the Grand Floridian. So you have sort of this motel, what I call the motel panel. It's a thing that I feel like you'll see at a lot of motels that attach to the door frame. So that's still here, and also still here are these, like the oldest light switch in any Disney hotel room, still hanging in there. I have no problem with it. I love it. I love a little bit of the original hotel hangs on. So what is going on with these fifth sleeper rooms is there's a bed that'll sleep 2 people. This will pull down into a bed that will sleep another 2 people. And then this unit will pull down into a unit that will sleep another 1 additional person. And that's how we get to that magic number 5. We're not going to pull anything down yet. We're just going to look around the room first. So we've got this table here. I assume, is this one of these ones that pops up, or it sure is. I like these. So you do have a little storage space in there, and then also you could use this as a countertop. You could eat on this. It's a good height, whether you want to sit on the bench over here or you want to sit on the sofa, have a snack or play a board game or whatever the case may be. Try to figure out what Genie Plus is. I got to try to close this with one arm. Let's see if we can do this. This is on wheels, which is going to be important because you're going to want to move this. When you open that bed, they're going to break a lot of those. And no, you're not seeing things. There is what looks to be a considerable amount of damage on this. It is white. And I point that out because you're going to see what's been happening here. So here we have there's a sofa here attached to this, which has sort of a seafoam color scheme going on, and above it we have some Little Mermaid art. We have some fish from the film, perhaps meant to be the beginnings of the Under the Sea sequence. So what's happening here is people are not realizing they have to move this because it's the same height as this, and they are slamming this thing down on it, and you can see that because we've already got a whole bunch of chipped paint and repairs that have been done all along this section here, which is not good when the room, I mean, these rooms are brand new. I would say we are in the, if not single digits, double digits of number of guests who have stayed in any of these rooms yet, depending which one you get. So, you know, it's a problem we keep running into, the finishings, you know, finishings for hotel rooms, and not just a Disney exclusive thing, but they're not as sturdy perhaps as they used to be. So this unit, again, we'll pull down into the sleeper. We do have instructions. We'll come back to this. Up here, we have a USB-C, a US standard USB, and 2 standard outlets sitting up here. That'll open up. We have a bench that's there for any other time we might need to sit, and then there are 3 smaller drawers at the bottom. Then when we come over to the primary bed, we have a nightstand here, which has a little drawer with the Bible in it. We have a tiny room phone. We again have a standard USB, a USB-C, and 2 standard outlets. We have our light switches. We have reading lights on either side. These will be these ones when you pull them up, they turn on. There are 2 lights above the bed. One thing I will say is, like, I'm here, it's like 4 o'clock-ish, which is not a particularly dim time of day. I am dying for there to be another light somewhere over there. It's a little dark on that end of the room. I don't know. I think there'd be another light. Maybe just somewhere across here. I don't know. It's a little dim over here. And you'll see also, this is one of the few coffee stations that doesn't have a light either. And I've checked a couple times. There's nothing here. So that would be my one major complaint would be I'd love another light in here maybe. Maybe at night it's not as bad, but so anyway, there's a cubby under there. We have room under the bed for additional storage, as is the trend with Disney hotel rooms. And then we have the floating nightstand on this side, again with a USB, USB-C, and 2 standard outlets as well. I'm not wild about the headboard, but I will say I like this color palette, the sandy colors, which do, you know, it makes the room not pure white. It makes the room a little interesting, and they really went all in with that color palette in the area with the vanity and the sinks, which I think is my favorite of the changes to the room, but we'll look at that in a moment. It's weird, the style of the curved end. It's a little mid-century modern, right? And I don't necessarily feel like the rest of the room is mid-century modern, and I don't necessarily feel like that fits Caribbean Beach, but that's what they went for. I do like, I think functionality-wise, I think everything on this end of the room is great. I think it's great that we have a bunch of drawers there. There looks like there's a good amount of space here. They've effectively used all this space here. We got 3 nice big drawers. That drawer is not attached correctly. It's a new room. This happens. Then we've got a thinner drawer here. We have, there's the safe. Underneath that, we have a garbage pail and recycling bin. I assume this is going to be the mini fridge. It is. It's the newer model with the glass panel in the front, so you can see that you have stuff in there. We have our TV. We have a lot of counter space here. Is this blocking an outlet? It is not. Wow, that I would have thought for sure you'd want to put another set of outlets there, maybe. I mean, in this day and age where you also want people to charge their Magic Bands, maybe it's good to put, like, I know, like we have 3. We've come across 3 clusters of outlets, right? And I know there's going to be one more there. Obviously, the coffee pot's using one of them. I would have imagined you'd want one more right here, but okay. So there is some very bright and vibrant and cute art here that you're not really going to see because it's super dark. But nonetheless, it's the seahorses, again, from Little Mermaid. This is the thing we've seen. We've seen a lot of these multi-story, multi-level, I should say, coffee stations with character art in decal or wallpaper form placed in the back. That's been a trend as of late. We have the Cuisinart. Not the best coffee maker you could have at a Disney hotel, but it's here. Don't worry, everyone. Oh, I thought we still had the 50th coffee. We do not. We have the Walt Disney World Resort blend. Wow, they got me. I was like, oh, the blue bag, it's still the 50th. It's not. Joffrey's did a better job getting rid of the 50th anniversary than the rest of Disney World did. So there's our coffee station, our climate control here. I will say this. These air conditioning units are a little old. I'm sure you could hear behind me over the course of this video that it's making some noise. It doesn't necessarily bother me, but I know there's some people that are very light sleepers. So I'm going to mention that that's happening right now. All right, so we've gone with the sliding door, which is another thing we've seen a lot. I feel like since the Coronado updates, we've seen a lot of this. It fits the theme. It looks correct. I like it. I like the blue wall back here. I like that they've. It's clear watching over time. There are two more standard outlets down there, by the way. Found them. It's clear over time they've realized what went wrong with some of the first rooms they remodeled in this current generation, and they're like, maybe it's a little too plain, maybe it's a little too white, maybe it looks like a hospital room a little bit, and they've at least thrown some color in places and some little touches, and I think they've come a long way, right? They're not my favorite hotel rooms, but they've gotten infinitely better. I think in here they did a great job. I think the tile is a great choice, a lot of color. It's very pretty. And then I love this sandy beige that permeates this whole area with the closets and the vanity, all of that. I love having the double vanity, the dual sinks. That's great. These might be the most generic tissue boxes I've ever seen in this plate. I don't know who picked this. This says nothing about Caribbean Beach to me, but whatever. And there's some cool stuff going on down here too. We actually have for the little ones, we do have the step stool with the Mickey, which is a very old Disney touch, I feel. I'm happy to see it. Very cute. And a very effective use of space there. And then what's great is we actually got a drawer here. Put a drawer in here, but then beyond that drawer, you have all these cubbies. Lots of cubby space. That one's inaccessible. But you have all this cubby space here, and all they've done is through the hairdryer here. And there is another place to hang an outfit or two right here. And then the closet, there's a very positive change. I like this. Feels like Caribbean Beach, thematic, looks good. Extra pillows and blankets, plenty of hangers, and my favorite thing, an iron and an ironing board. Thank you. The trend has been the steamer. A lot of rooms got rid of the iron and the ironing board for the steamer. I think the steamer is way more dangerous. I think the steamer takes longer to get wrinkles out of nearly anything. Just give me an iron and an ironing board. If you want a steamer, then have those by request. But I feel like more guests want the iron and the ironing board. I mean, maybe some people don't iron on vacation, but I know, like, going to a signature restaurant, or you're like me and you wear button-downs all the time, or whatever the case may be, you probably have something you got to get wrinkles out of when you take it out of the suitcase. I will say, like, I like this vanity area. I'm going to lament a lot of the loss of the pirate room. The pirate room vanity was on, but we have that room tour. Please go watch it and remember how great they were. We have the illuminated makeup mirror. Nope. I should probably hit the switch on the mirror. That would make sense. Wow, that's a bright one. Batting 1,000 today. The mirror, the one thing I'll say is the mirror frame is really very plain. Very plain. But the color palette made up for it in here. It works. The tile, contrasting that. I'm digging this room. So, the thing I feel like they still really haven't figured out is the bathroom. Like, I'm glad the tile continues into here, And ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that the new rooms at Caribbean Beach are home to toilet art. That's right. Toilet art is here. Do not fear. It's the best art in the room, I think, actually. It's the only two characters you probably know by name, Sebastian and Flounder. It's very, very cute, and I'm so glad we got some toilet art. Unfortunately, it's behind the toilet, so you can't enjoy it, while you're on the toilet. But nonetheless, it's here, and you do have this nice splash of color from the tile. I'm on board with that. You got the very plain doors. There's nothing special about the tile in here. No color. It's a very functional room, and this is the only portion of the room where I'm like, they could have at least picked like a colored tile to go between the white to brighten this up a little bit, maybe, or even bought like wavy tile, like since we're under the sea, right? And it's very easy to draw comparisons to another hotel room on property themed to the same intellectual property, right? There are already Little Mermaid rooms, ladies and gentlemen. They're an art of animation. And I think I like the bathroom at that value resort better than I like it at this moderate one, being honest. We have the mounted shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. I don't know if that's a standard shower head. I think that's a new one. What brand is that? This is my life now. I'm excited that I think they picked a different shower head. It's a Kohler. That's a different one. Not adjustable in any way, right? There's no. So it's going to be one volume of stream you can choose. And of course there's a tub as well. Which you have to mention now, because the trend at hotels is getting away from tubs. You have to check sometimes. Again, when we talk about finishes and maybe things are not quite what they used to be, this handle has already apparently smashed into this door frame. This handle is very crooked. As you can see, it's pushed all the way this way, and there's paint marks on it too. So if we do this, look at that. Yeah, that is clearly just smashed into there. There is a bunch of marks on this door too. This door has taken a beating. Some of that is guessed, but also like part of designing for Disney World or Disney parks is designing for wear and tear. You know your stuff is going to be used every day, and you might want to like make sure you pick materials that are up to it, right? Okay, so we got to open this stuff up. I'm going to do what the other guests have not done and move this. You could see, I think you could even see a guest has done what I did. I was heading straight for that corner. There's a black mark right there where someone hit that too. See, that they can't plan. That's going to happen, and that's not really necessarily a designer's fault. Okay, that does free us to do. I'm going to move this phone cord so it doesn't get stuck in here. We're going to pull this guy down, and it's good. It kind of stops itself there. Gets a little harder to do here, so no one's going to get smashed by this, which is great. All right. So actually, I'm wrong. There's another piece of art with Flounder. They're all sleeping amongst the thingamabobs, right? Amongst Ariel's collection, which I do think is complete. Flounder and one of the musical fish friends. And we see all sorts of things. There's the pipe. I'm kind of surprised the pipe made the cut, but gravy boat, musical instruments, all sorts of fun stuff there. So these, I've slept on these. They're not the worst. They're not the best. They're good enough. Obviously, my recommendation, as always, is adults here. And if the extent is 2 adults in the room, then put the smaller people, the children, on these units that pull out. But okay, now we got to pull out this guy. I'm gonna move this a little more. All right, we have instructions. Let's see. There are instructions to raise and lower the bed. To lower the bed, I mean, that's definitely not what our unit looks like, but okay. To lower the bed, clear everything off the sofa, including pillows, and ensure, I guess this is for this is actually for this one. But it's all the way over here. Yeah. I mean, does it apply to both? I guess it would apply to both. But it definitely looks more like that one. Clear everything off the sofa, including pillows, and ensure the area in front of the sofa is clear at all times. From either side, grab the upper or top part of the handle, pull the bed forward, position yourself at the foot of the bed, and lower it gently the rest of the way down. And then pretty much the same for going back up. Let's pull this. There we go. That one feels high. I guess these fifth sleeper ones where they're on a bench are a little higher off the ground. I just forget. There you go. There is. I think that's the Duke of Seoul. I think that's him sleeping. Everyone's sleeping after a hard day of jamming under the sea. So it's like all of the band members are in here. That's a cute one. Should do a segment at some point where we rank all the pull down bed art. They didn't light this one either. That's a thing all of them have, is a light. I guess a lot of them would have turned on when I opened it, and then there's a switch. There's no switch, no. So that some things have changed. So this one's not illuminated. Although I'll tell you, it's been a hot minute since I stayed at the fifth sleeper in this resort. So I know a lot of the other ones where it's not necessarily this unit, but the bed pulls down in a similar manner. There's a light in there. That's cute. This, I will tell you, definitely want to put a child on. From experience. Definitely want to put a child on that one. That one's it's real easy to raise and lower that one. Not nearly the effort of the big boy over here. So I will say this. I don't necessarily understand why they did this, right? Because number one, the pirate rooms are very, very cool, but obviously they know things I do not know. I don't know what their booking numbers were like. I don't know what demand was like. I don't know what guest satisfaction was like. Pirate Room's one of my favorite rooms, not only at Walt Disney World, that I've stayed at any Disney resort in the world. I love them. Thematic and so cool and so memorable. You never forget staying in one of those. So I understand the point may have been like, people really want rooms that sleep 5, and the pirate rooms aren't booking as well as they used to. Maybe we should make the change. Now, the interesting thing is instead of changing these rooms to look like the fifth sleepers elsewhere at this hotel, they went with a completely different theme. And in this case, they chose the Little Mermaid, which is a weird choice because, as I said before, Little Mermaid rooms already exist at Walt Disney World. There are way more thematic Little Mermaid rooms at Art of Animation. They have their own cluster of buildings. So why Little Mermaid, right? And none of it's overt in here, right? So if adults that didn't really, or just wanted a standard hotel room that's functional and didn't really need it to be overly Disney, like they wouldn't be bothered by the fact that there's a couple pieces of mermaid art here. I'm just somewhat bewildered by the choice to make it all Little Mermaid. I just don't understand that choice when you've already used this series of characters for a hotel room at the same property, right? At Walt Disney World, you could already book a Little Mermaid room. And so the flip side of this is at this moment, there is no category for these. You can't book a Little Mermaid room. You can book a fifth sleeper room at Caribbean Beach, and then you can do building requests to increase your chances of getting these based on where the pirate rooms used to be. The pirate rooms mostly in Trinidad, right? And so what we did is we booked the fifth sleeper, we requested certain buildings in Trinidad, and we got one. That's the best advice I can give you if this is a room you really want. It is functional. It's better than, I for sure like it better than Art of Animation, or not Art of Animation, sorry. Just thinking of what I was just talking about. Pop Century and All-Star, I like these rooms considerably better. I like this resort better. This is one of my favorites. It's a beautiful area to walk around. You have Skyliner access, good food. One of my favorite places to get the refillable resort mug because there's freestyle stations at several of the clusters of buildings. So in the Trinidad section, there's actually a freestyle machine out this way, so you don't have to go back to the main building. And it's also, I believe, at last I checked, knock on wood or whatever this is made out of. Usually on all night too, which is great. It's a very pretty property, and the pools are fun, and so I love Caribbean Beach. These rooms are fine. They're solid, very functional, pretty enough, not as bad as some of the other recent room remodels, and yeah, it's cute enough.